everyone, Chris here, and welcome back once again to the city of Guvsk, our model Soviet city in the Socialist Republic of Imaginarium, our fictional nation. It's been a few weeks since the last video where we did up Micro District number 1. As you can see from the footage you're seeing, the city has moved on somewhat since then. We're now, at the time of recording my voice anyway, 3 districts in, although this footage here was captured a little bit before I finished the 3rd district. Today, however, we're going to focus on building a hospital, which is pretty cool. This is the general layout then of the city so far, and where we're going to be is just down in the south here. Yeah, just here. Wonderful. The last video we did then was a bit all over the place. We built 2 huge districts covering a grand bit of space. What I'm going to do in this video is instead focus much more on a small location, a building and its surrounding. To start with then, as you can see, placing my curbs around to... What I find is, and I think I've probably mentioned this on videos before, I certainly have mentioned it on streams, is that curbs, I don't know, they just seem to really define and separate out an area, which is, when you're trying to create detail, which by no means am I very good at, every little helps in just adding that extra layer. We're using this hospital building anyway, which is off the Steam Workshop. It's just a lovely looking Eastern European hospital. Each micro district is supposed to have a hospital, and I haven't put as much detail into some of the other areas, but I figured I wanted to make one look pretty decent, and so this is what I'm kind of doing. We've placed it along a paved road, but one of the things that I wanted to do was change it up from the vanilla building. The vanilla building, don't get me wrong, is absolutely wonderful, but I wanted to make it look kind of pretty. So as you can see, I'm going around with paved tiles to get rid of that rough concrete that dominates the rest of the city so much. But as you'll see as we go through the video, what I do is I not only just place the tiles, we're placing flower beds, where we place a statue at the front of the hospital. I'm really happy with how it turned out. One of the things then that I have enjoyed while making this, I know I've said before, I'm not the best at detailing. It's certainly something I'm learning, and certainly something that I'm watching other content creators do with real envy. But I'm trying my best to learn these processes and to make these areas seem a little bit more realistic. If you're watching this and you're thinking that I'm doing a pretty terrible job, that's absolutely fine, and I'd love your feedback and help and suggestions on what I can do to improve such things. But I'm quite happy with how this area turns out. We start here with this statue that, I'll be honest, I believe someone on the workshop has made a statue of Vladimir Putin, and that's what this is, based a Vladimir Putin statue that looks like a Lenin statue. I'm not overly sure. I've made it smaller using the procedural object mod, and I'm just using it as a generic generic statue. I'm not going to zoom in on the face to make sure whether it's Mr. Putin or not. But what I wanted to do was, in this area outside the front of the hospital, create, I don't know, just something nice to look at. I haven't even thought who this statue could represent, if honest. It was someone important in the canon of this fictional nation, that's for sure. But yes, building this nice little area out the front of the hospital, it took me a while. This footage was probably filmed over a couple of days. It was something I kept coming back to, and I've edited this video quite heavily to take out the bits where I've recorded footage and then deleted everything because I hated how it looked. At one point, this entire front area was paved, all of it was paved. The final bit then, with these hedgerows that you can see I'm placing down now, is my favourite of how it's turned out. It's I don't know. I really I just like how it looks. So as I'm going around then with these hedges, utilising the Move It mod, which I think is pretty essential for these type of detailed builds. I've been thinking then a lot about where we're going to go with the rest of this city. I've been creating a few of my own assets, and as a bit of a preview for what I'd like to do next, I'd really like to make a intercity bus station, the big central bus station that people will arrive from out of town into our city with. I've made a bus station, which I'm really excited about, and I hope to put in maybe the next video. I basically want to get us away from just making housing and create areas such as this that can have some nice detail about them. But I'm edging towards bus station. What would you like to see? Honestly, your comments, your feedbacks make the world of difference. I read everything people send to me, whether it be on here or on various social medias. And I really I just appreciate all feedback that I get. What you say will dictate what we do next. If people want me to make a park next, that's what we'll do. I'm absolutely cool. Curbs seem to be the defining thing of this video then. Curbs everywhere. It seems so unnecessary perhaps to just put so many curbs down, but I don't know, I think that it gives everything a nice little clean edge, and whilst zoomed out it may not make the world a difference, it makes the difference to me, and that's a bit silly I guess, but I love it. So what we're doing here, just defining this area here, which I will later make into a lovely like a flower bed, as well as these open panels at the front of the hospital will also become flower beds as well. Another thing then, really to talk about at this point is I'm using a lot more surfaces and decals in these details videos now. I noticed that a lot of the really incredible creators who make the City Skylines videos are all about the various surfaces you can plop down to make your area seem that little bit more unique. And I'm trying to add them. I'm not the best at it, but I start to play around a little bit in this video with those surfaces. When I place down some trees near the statue, I put down some dirt underneath, because I suppose realistically the ground would be a little bit more barren underneath these trees. The flowers as well, I'm trying to really just build up detail in this area, and I guess we could call this video ground force with how much just vegetation and planting and stuff I'm doing. If this isn't your type of thing, I'm so sorry. This is pretty much what this video is. It's planting trees and plants, but I don't know, it just beautifying an area such as this. I really like this. Someone said to me on Twitter earlier that City Skylines is essentially just a computerized version of a model railway, and I completely get that. The detailing that you can go into, some people, myself included, can just commandeer this wonderful game of ours and create all kinds of just fantastic models. It's not about playing the game anymore, is it? It's much more about just building models, and that's great. I think being able to have such a creative outlet like this is, I mean, I love it. Here, procedural objects mod, I'm sure I've spoke about it before, but I probably would recommend this as one of the more essential mods if you're looking to build interesting things within your city. The fact that you can just twist and turn assets and create things, it's so useful. And this is the flower bed that I was talking about a minute ago. I copied over the curbs from outside the hospital so that I could fill the plants in that area and then just copy the plants back across and fit them back in there. Because I found that, and there may be a fix to this, and if there is, and you know, please tell me, but the forest brush doesn't paint, even with prop anarchy on, it doesn't paint over areas where trees are not supposed to be. Trees and plants, that is. So I found having to copy and paste things in was probably the only real way to do it. As you can see, we're building up this area, we're building up vegetation, and the vegetation just adds to this city, I think. The weeds in the central reservation there on the road, and the plants behind the statues, and it just all adds up to the details. Well, here's something completely new from the Steam Workshop, the intersections mod. Oh gosh, what's its name? I'm sorry, I've completely forgotten. It's been everywhere on the Steam Workshop the last few weeks, but it's a mod where there is no real practical effect. It is perfect. It's just a visible effect, I guess. But it's creating lines on your intersections. Literally, it's just cosmetic, and these lines are not technically objects in the game. So much like the procedural objects mod, it doesn't cause any issues to your frame rate because the game doesn't really count them as objects. But it just makes roads like this intersection here that I created, where half the roads go one way and half the roads go the other, it just makes it look like such a unique bit of road. And I know that may seem silly and not that, I don't know, not there isn't much point to it, but I love it in terms of creating realism to the area. I think it's does a great job. So the creators of that mod have done a fantastic job. Another one I'd recommend if you're into making a train set model on a computer, I really would recommend that. Final bit then, really, of my hospital. Again, it's vegetation. I'm sorry, this video is just purely vegetation, but I hope you'll agree that with the end product, it looks a really, really nice little hospital. As I say, it's not a big hospital. Every district within this city is supposed to have its own hospital, as historically that was supposed to be the case with the micro districts. Each would have their own little hospital, and so it's not the biggest building. If we'd have been making a city central hospital, we could have made multiple blocks and made it bigger, but I think as a standalone little building, it does the job. It looks quite nice. The placement of curbs took me quite a while at this point, but eventually we will bed all this with plants and hedges. Again, detailing for the sake of detailing here, can't just have grass out of nowhere. We have to put some pavement down to give us a nice defined border. But it's these little things that matter to me, where when you're looking at the building at the end of it, it looks decent and looks realistic. I've certainly rambled over this video. As you can tell, there is no pre-assigned script to any of this. I am just riffing and talking over me building. But I hope what is coming across anyway in these videos is that my real love for this project. Having been away from the game for a few weeks, because I was away on holiday, to come back to it and be able to pick it back up and actually feel the same level of inspiration and desire to want to kick on and build some cool stuff is nice, because my worry is that I usually run out of steam making things around these points. But no, I'm really loving this project. Still looking for things to place in the 2 districts that are yet unassigned, but things to look forward to then. We've got the bus station to build, commercial district, which I'd like to create some more customed assets in Blender for. We've got university complex to build. We've got a football stadium, which I'm really looking forward to building. Amusement park maybe. Loads of cool stuff that I'm really looking forward to adding, and it's really good because we've built the city, the layout from scratch, to be able to look at it when I load the game up and see the progress we've made and how not that there is an end in sight, but that there will be a final goal. It isn't just an endless city. There will be the city's making progress, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and that I know at some point this will be a finished thing, and that's, I don't know, I really like the idea that this is going to be a finished project that I can look back on and make a nice cinematic about. I am rambling, I am very sorry for this, but I hope that any way that the passion is coming across is what I would say. Our final thing then that we add here is just some more trees to the side, and I think you'll agree when framing this building, it does look good. This is the finished item then, the finished hospital. I think it looks nice. Please let me know what you think about it in the comments, and on Twitter, my @ as usual is in the thing below. Thank you for watching this video. I look forward to bringing you the next one. If you have a suggestion on what you want to see, let me know. But really, thank you once again for watching my silly videos. Thank you. Have a nice week.